Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. Bridgerton, season 2, final episode, episode 8. Okay, I was really excited at the beginning. Halfway through, I got annoyed. And then by the very end, I was very pissed off. However, I feel like they should have spent more time on the whistle down storyline, because it feels like it's pasted in there because it's not about her so much. It's primarily about Anthony and Kate, but I don't like Anthony and Kate anymore. I don't care about them because it's like Anthony finally realizes, because she basically gets in a coma. She's out of it for like the first 14 minutes of the episode, and then he proposes, and then he basically sees for the first time she's just running away. She doesn't want to take responsibility. She's just running away from her problems. She doesn't want to face it head on. She doesn't want to. She's just trying to flee the whole thing. It's just like, look. She's being a coward. She's being an absolute coward. How can you? Yeah, but it's just that was just like, come on, please. What? So I'm not a huge fan, but at the same time, I loved the whistle down, because Eloise finally finds out that her closest friend of all time, Penelope, is Lady Whistledown, and immediately blows up. They get in a huge fight, words that they honestly have been wanting to speak to each other. It's because they say things that they have meant and held off on because they were friends, but they have thought those things constantly about each other. They have constantly had issues. Eloise always talking about how she's progressive, always trying to fight for women's, but when it comes to a real problem like the dude's life, the dude's situation that he was in, oh no, I don't want you to suffer just because of my choices. It's just like, he's the only one already suffering. If anything, he would get a better life through you. So she's just being a coward, running away and leaving him to fend for himself. So he basically calls her out. Penelope basically calls her out, and they state it as it is. She's willing to talk about it, but never willing to act on it. It's always easier to talk than it is to act out on because it's hard. It's hard to step out of society's shoes. Here she talks about it when she's in the comfort of her society, but she'll never actually act on any of it. So yeah, it was all those storylines that I actually started to grow more attached to, because I started to hate Kate. Anthony, it's just like a typical dude. So I was like, okay, he's a typical guy. I can understand. They put their foot in their mouth. They'll always say things. They have a logical mind. They try to shut off their emotional brain. They normally don't understand it half the time. It makes no sense to them, so they're confused by it, and they normally think it means something else. I mean, heck, you feel love, you might just think you're hungry. I mean, men aren't wired the same way, okay? It's just not in our not in our genes. It's just not for us. We can try to learn, but most of the time, let's just face it, we'll always be wrong. So, like, the only thing I think I liked at the very end was when Anthony was confessing his love. He was like, I love you, and even though you'll probably never believe me because you'll fight me on that as well, it's just like, yeah, that is probably the best part about it, because he's basically talking about how she will always fight him on his love. Either he doesn't love her enough, or it's just like she doesn't believe it. It's just like all these little, it's just like, I agree with that. I like that quote, because she's combative. She's combative, so she will never accept it no matter what, even if it is true. So that line was okay. That's the one thing that he said that I was like, okay, this got me back in his good graces, but not so much. Kate was being a coward the entire time, always just trying to push everyone else to make a decision, even though she claimed to herself to always be the one who was in charge. She pushed the responsibility of what she felt to Anthony, who really was confused and was basically, because he knew what he wanted to do. But because he was straightforward from the beginning, he didn't want a love match. He just wanted to do something. So he put it to Kate to decide. And Kate was basically, oh, no, you can. But Kate was hoping he was going to fight it. Just like all these little things that Kate was obviously running from the responsibility. Here, Anthony was doing everything that he promised he'd do from the beginning. Yet, how can he be made out to be the bad guy? He has stated it from the beginning. So, yeah, it kind of lost me near the end. Oh, yeah, also the Featheringtons. The Featherington story arc is insane. That mother is a psychopath, absolute psychopath. I freaking love it. It's amazing what happens there, because she was right. You don't go in bed with the Bridgertons. They will find out. They are smart. They are a smart family. Yeah, and Colin is actually very well versed, because the second he started talking about a necklace, I was like, okay, Colin knows something. Maybe he's traveled the world. Maybe he knows fake when he sees it. But yeah, I don't know. It's the other stories of this season that I actually liked. Colin, Benedict, Eloise, Penelope, all the Featheringtons, really. Even like the king and his queen. I mean, the queen, because it's sad, but even though he has his mind getting lost, he still loves his queen no matter what. Yeah, Bridgerton, that was the final episode. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles!